Welcome to No Notes. I'm Colby.
And I'm Alex.
And welcome back.
Welcome back. So you were actually able to take the tickets to Problemista.
It was so good.
Was it? I'm glad that you enjoyed. I'm glad that someone was able to take the tickets.
So A24 films.
Was it A24?
It's an A24 film.
Perfect.
So I already sort of knew going into it that it was going to be at least acceptable, like a reasonably good time.
It was such it's such a funny trailer and kind of unique story.
Yes.
That you knew like they're not going to fuck this up.
Yeah, and it's Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say easily 9.5 out of 10.
Oh my God.
I loved it.
I have to see it.
I went with one of our girlies, second tie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we both were just laughing.
Hysterically?
Yeah. I mean, it was so funny, so charming. I hate when movie reviewers call something witty or smart.
Yeah.
Because it just...
What does that mean?
Yeah. But
witty to who?
This very much was that, though. Like, just the way that they're like the visuals that they were showing, like this one's in the trailer, but it's sort of giving a visual of how hard it is to navigate
US
sort
immigration.
And the visa process, and just the way they did that was just so again smart. It was fun to see it. I loved it, and I'm like dying to see it again already.
So like I told you this off of the mic, but Julio Torres also wrote one of my favorite SNL skits, which is The Actress with Emma Stone, where she plays an extra on a gay porn.
Yeah.
So is that absurdity like also on the film? Like that type of sense of humor where it's kind of like absurd, but the person is like Emma Stone committed in that performance.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. There's this, well, it's a running joke through the movie of Tilda Swinton like asking if he's used FileMaker Pro, and it's this like archival sort of organizational sort of software to like categorize like her dead lover's art, and it just goes on and on and on about this joke. But yeah, it's some of it is just absolutely absurd, but it has a really like meaningful storyline, right? Yeah. And trying to like demonstrate how frustrating and challenging that process is. Like the main character has to make money in order to survive, but if he's not being sponsored, then someone can't pay him. So it's just like, I don't know, it really is such a beautiful story to see, but all the performances in it were really, really great.
I'm glad. I think I'm going to take you again.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Now, so it's funny because I gave the tickets to you, and I got a rain check ticket.
Yeah.
So I can
go again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For free.
Well, let's go. It was really great. Thanks for sort of making me go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad that someone was able to take the tickets. Yeah. Anything else happened this week? Anything funny?
Well,
cool?
I wanted to ask your opinion on the art show we went to.
Right. So you actually texted me, I don't know, was it sometime during the week right before it happened? Mm-hmm. How did you hear about it?
I think just through Instagram.
What was it? Did it have a name? It's a new pop-up, or was it,
it's a new queer gallery space, Rosebud Gallery.
Funny name, first of all.
Funny name. I think it's of like sort of a broader project of like revitalizing the Tenderloin neighborhood of San Francisco.
They're trying to have more art there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when we were at the gallery, I saw this like card that was about like it was like self-guided walk tour of different art galleries within the Tenderloin. But what were your thoughts of this opening?
So when I read through the description, it said like it wanted distinctly queer and silly art, and I think that they nailed that.
Mm-hmm. How so?
It was distinctly queer and very silly. So right when you enter, there was a wall of buttholes, basically. I think the artist's name is Fotojoto.
Mm-hmm.
I think Latino, or I think the artist is Latino, and they take pictures of people's hairy butts and buttholes, or like at least that's like the running theme.
Yeah, so we like walked into this gallery, and immediately on the right are probably like 50 black and white framed photos of like bearish guys, hairy guys, just full spread eagle.
Yeah.
And I screamed, and I was like, Alex, why are there photos of you on the wall?
Honestly, I had to look twice because I was like, I think that's one of those.
That
is
hole
my
looks
butt.
similar.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've smelt it. But stuff like that. So they had like rugs made out of like, queer
Rush bottles,
butt plugs. We had just like really queer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that it was very short. I think there was probably under 10 artists there. It's a small space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it was, I think they completely accomplished what they wanted, silly and queer.
Yeah. Some frustrating things.
Drinks.
Well, okay, the drinks. So this party was supposed to, so it opened at 6, I think, and was going till 10.
Yeah.
And they had a bartender, but they ran out of drinks by 8 p.m. And Alex and I got there at 7:30.
Was it even 8?
Yeah.
Around
then.
Yeah. Very soon.
So I don't really know what happened there, but that wasn't great. Because again, small space, there's not really a lot to do or see. Like you see basically all the art in the first like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So that part sucked. The other part is it is the Tenderloin, which for our Velmas out there that haven't been to San Francisco or not as familiar with it, when you hear these crazy conservatives talk about like what a shithole San Francisco is and the amount of like drugs and homeless on the street, it's largely in this neighborhood, the Tenderloin.
But you have to start somewhere. They're trying to clean up the Tenderloin and they're trying to create more art. So it's gonna be, it is what it is.
Yeah,
you can't really help it. But
I honestly hope they survive. That's an interesting neighborhood to pick. Like, I don't know that if not for Instagram or like an opening party happening, that I would have found it or have gone to it. So I wonder if they plan to make it more of an event space longer term, like continuously having like pop-up shows and things. But otherwise, I think it will be really hard for them to survive over there.
I hope so. I think, this is their first one. There was a ton of people, so there's a lot of interest. That's probably why they ran out. They weren't anticipating that many people on was it Wednesday or Thursday?
I think it was, it was a Wednesday.
They weren't probably anticipating that many people. It's a small space, but, they're going to give it another shot. I know, and they'll probably...
Yeah. It was nice to come out and like see the community and like do something that wasn't a party and...
Right. Yeah.
All right. So you want to do tops and bottoms?
Yeah. So, as always, we flip a coin to decide which one of us will discuss a top, aka the highlight of the week. The other will discuss a bottom or something bad that happened this week. So I'm going to flip a coin. What do you want? Heads or tails?
I will do heads for bottoms.
Okay, I get.
Okay.
Oh,
that is heads. So I'm doing bottoms. You're doing tops.
Okay. So let's see. So top for me is actually a weird one. Well, unless you know me, foraging. Right now, it's the beginning of spring, so that means a lot of like berries or strawberries are supposed to be in season. But right now we have what's planted throughout the Bay Area, strawberry trees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, throughout everywhere. And right next to my work, there are at least a dozen strawberry trees right across from my work. So every lunch, I take a walk, put on my headphones, and then I have to, I have to wait till no one's around because it's kind of a weird thing. And then I go into the tree and I pick the strawberries.
You're a little berry thief.
I have a video that I sent my boyfriend because he thinks it's so funny that I love to forage, and it's weird. But I'm like stuffing these weird things that people don't, it's not like a strawberry tree fruit isn't like at a grocery store. You're not going to see that. So people don't really know that they're edible. And they kind of look like a cherry with a rough skin.
Okay.
And they don't taste like strawberries. They taste like a mixture of a guava, orange, banana.
Right. Okay.
I'll bring you some.
Yeah, I'll have to try it.
Yeah, they're like, oh my God, there's one tree that has like hundreds of berries coming in. Oh my God, I cannot wait.
So there's strawberry berries?
So it It's a tree. It's a shrub, I think, technically.
Okay.
But it gets pretty tall. It looks like a tree. It doesn't get too high. But I just like go in there and pick a few. I'll bring you some. They're really good.
Yeah. Maybe like a main Thai can like bake us something.
Yeah,
with it.
exactly. It's a very unique flavor. So I wonder what you can make out of that. What's your bottom? Bottom.
Yes. So, do you know who Sue Bell is on TikTok?
Sue Bell.
Yeah.
That's my mother.
Really? What if it was? What if your mom said?
I can't believe you said really.
No, I was being facetious.
Wait, what is that?
Oh, from TikTok. You don't know who Sue Bell is?
No.
Okay. So on TikTok, there is this, I'm assuming, inebriated elderly woman in Palm Beach that has the microphone way too close to her mouth. And,
I know her.
And she is commenting on like people's fashion. Like gay men will send them like photos of it.
I know. And she'll be like, I don't like that color.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you know Sue Bell.
you.
So she did delete this TikTok, but Sue Bell reported live from a gay wedding, and guess where it was at?
It was at Mar-a-Lago. A gay wedding in Mar-a-Lago?
A gay wedding
was
at
it
Mar-a-Lago. No. So one of the husbands is the like vice chair of the Tennessee Log Cabin Republicans.
God, damn it.
And apparently there were like 1,000 people at this wedding.
One of the lowest form of human being is gay Republican.
Oh, for sure.
They don't want them. They don't allow them as part of their platform, yet they still suck their dick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how embarrassing.
Well, it's just total pick me. It's like we're gay, but we're not those kind of gays. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I frequently look at...
Gay. You're a gay Republican?
After the
You're
amount of
vice
taxes that
president?
got taken out of my bonus check,
Oh
I'm
my
a gay
God.
Republican.
Come on.
But I don't know if I've ever told you this, and this is such a bad habit of mine, but I frequently look at top conservative politicians, and if any of the people I'm mutuals with are like following those people, I unfollow them.
Yeah. Every time I see an attractive person, I'm like, something's wrong with them.
And you go look at who they're following.
And I go Trump, then I go GOP.
Yeah.
And then I do Joe Rogan.
Mm. I mean, it's obviously not ever great to live in like that kind of bubble.
Watch me.
But at the same time, I'm just like, have some fucking respect for yourself.
Let's not even get into it.
Anyway, that was my bottom of the week. They're assholes. I want to know like who they're friends with and who went to this wedding, so I can never talk to those people again.
Ugh, fucking disgusting. Oh my God. Remember Aaron Schock?
Oh, of course. I used to see him out in the Atlanta bars all the time.
Really?
Yeah. I don't
He's
know
not
what.
even from the area.
I know. He would be there all the time. I saw him at this bar called 10 several times, and all the gays would be like flocking and like, you know, running up to him and talking to him and getting photos with him. And I'm like, do you know?
Yeah.
Like,
so for those of you who
yourself.
don't know, he was a part of the Tea, what is it? I'm forgetting the name.
Tea Party?
The Tea Party movement. He was elected during like that wave. He was a Republican. He was closeted, and he ended up spending a ton of money from his like
campaign funds.
Yeah, campaign funds to redo his, or maybe it was like congressional funds.
Yeah.
To do his office, got booted out, and he.
You're leaving out a really important detail.
He's gay.
No, he was redoing his office in the style of Downton Abbey.
Which, oh my God, gay fag.
Yeah, fuck him.
But now gays love him. He's in shape
because
he's white.
he's like a quote unquote like hot muscle daddy.
Yeah, disgusting.
They'll forgive anything for some abs.
Anything. Oh God, gross.
Anyway, I heard that you're all caught up on Couple to Throuple now.
Yeah. So I watched the season finale actually just a couple of hours ago.
Really?
Yeah, because I watched the first 3 episodes. Obviously, that's when I talked about it, a month ago as my top. And then I watched it with my friend, and we used his account. So I didn't have Peacock. So I had to purchase Peacock. I may or may not be canceling it.
So for our Velmas that maybe didn't listen to the episode a few weeks ago when we talked about this, there's a new-ish show on Peacock, Couple to Throuple. And it basically just takes these existing couples, takes them to this resort and quote unquote paradise with I think like 14-ish other singles, and they pair up and attempt to have a throuple relationship.
Yeah, and these singles are men and women, and they are all bisexual. So, they mingle with the couples, and then the couples, match up with one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Every couple of episodes, the couple then has the opportunity to swap out if they don't like them, and likewise the single gets an opportunity to swap out if they no longer are interested in their couple.
Yep.
So now that you've seen it all.
Yeah, seen it all.
What do you think overall?
It's a clusterfuck.
So here's the thing. I think that couple to throuple is both revolutionary and extremely problematic.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's like revolutionary in that it addresses like this. It talks about relationships. It gives them an opportunity to say, hey, relationships between two people aren't the only option.
It's just broader visibility for non-traditional relationships.
Right. And it makes it acceptable. It opens up that door.
It helps normalize it, or at least contextualize it in a way that you're like, okay, I could maybe see how this functions for some people.
Right. But the way it goes about it is it treats the third person like property.
I was going to say that it's like sofa hunting.
It is.
Like
they all
you
sit
have,
on, yeah.
You have two people that show up. They already have an existing relationship. They already have a life together, and they're like trying to pick whatever new couch for their place that like is not too firm, like
right,
Goldilocks right fit. Yeah, it's super fucking weird. And I'll talk about this in a moment, but a lot of the things they do on the show are all positioned from more or less the perspective of the couple and not this third person entering their relationship potentially.
So right off the bat, there's 4 couples. 3 out of the 4 should not be on this show.
Oh, which ones?
Everyone except the Burning couple.
Oh,
the Burning
okay.
Man
Yeah,
group.
yeah. So that's Wilder and Corey.
Yeah. So they have a very healthy relationship.
Do you think that their relationship is healthy?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
100%.
No, Corey has so many insecurities.
She does, but the thing is, Wilder understands that and slows down.
Well, I will say that they had better communication skills than a lot of the others. So that's what you're talking about. Were they able to bridge that?
And it seems she's genuinely happy to have this new third couple. And they left the show early because they're like, this is working for us. And at the end of the season, it tells you that they're still together.
And I think they were the only ones still together, right?
Yeah, which is not, I could have seen that coming.
I don't know that I would say their relationship seems the healthiest of all the ones that are there, but I don't know if I would have jumped to say that it was like a healthy relationship. But like they did quote unquote find love in this episode or in the season and left early. So like good for them. But what do you think of the other couples?
Messes. None of them should be there.
Should we start with the gay one?
Where to begin? There's a gay couple and immediately... So I guess, how did you want to talk about them?
Well, so it's Rahman and Ashmal.
Yeah.
And they're from Chicago, right?
Red flag.
I actually sort of assumed before that
they're from Chicago from all the issues
I
they
thought
have.
They were going to be LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They just, not Ashmal, but Rahman gives that vibe. Or Miami.
I can see Miami, but immediately I was like, of course they're Chicago gays.
Complete red flags. I will say broadly for all the couples, I sort of got the sense that they were just bored. Like it seems like how they had come to this show is that they were like just looking for new spice in their life. But so many red flags with this gay couple. Rahman and Ashmal were like telling their third that, like when we get back home, just so you know, we go out to the bars with our friends and we all make out with them.
And it's not a jealous thing. And one of them is incredibly jealous. And they're like, how are you not jealous? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Insane.
The other really interesting couple to me was Brittany and Sean.
So I really liked Brittany as a human being.
Stunning.
And she's funny, and the way she interacts with Jonathan, like someone else's third, like she is a genuine human being.
But she was a goddess. Like her skin, her hair,
her
her stature.
butt.
Oh my God. She has to, like, Alex, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I would be a munch for Brittany.
Yeah, dude, she has the nicest ass.
Just honestly, like whatever her diet is, like everything about her, just stunning.
Amazing. I loved her.
But Sean, you've seen Get Out.
Yeah.
Sean is stuck in the sunken place.
He seems like he's on ketamine.
Well, his like gaze that he has is like peering into your soul, and he makes like no like comedic facial expressions. He just is just like staring at you. Like, it's really unnerving.
Yeah,
I hate it every time they put him on camera.
Although what he always like surprised me, because when he did speak, it was so eloquent. It was like nice.
He seemed like a nice person.
Yeah.
But again, another red flag. They were saying that, or Brittany was saying that he doesn't really touch her and is not physical with her. But now they're looking for a third.
Yeah, and also Brittany, I did not get queer vibes at all. She came out and said, I am bisexual. Toward at the end of the season, but she really didn't show any sort of romantic or physical connection with their third, even though at the end they did find a third. They became a throuple, although they ended it after the season was over.
It sort of just felt like to me that she really just wanted Sean to give her more physical affection.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. She wanted a girlfriend.
Yeah. What did you think of Dylan and Lauren?
Is that the steroid couple?
Yes. Like bodybuilder couple.
So they were there to fuck.
For sure.
They were not there for a throuple. They wanted to fuck. They kept swapping and swapping. The way they treated, first of all, Becca is, I felt so, she got screwed over
totally
every single time.
Honestly, out of all the singles, probably one of the most put together, like emotionally stable, pretty, beautiful. Yeah, she got fucked over.
Yeah, she got fucked over. I mean, I'm glad she got a lot of airtime, and she kept coming back.
Yes.
But she was not treated well. She was treated like a piece of property. I mean, when I say what's problem with the show is the way that Becca was treated.
Yeah.
That couple was there to fuck. They swapped out 3 times. They lied to one of them, was like, don't worry, we're going to get you back. And they were
basically would lose interest immediately in someone who didn't want to move at the sexual pace that they wanted to, or like wasn't as interested in sex as them. Dylan also very confusing for me sexually. Like he reminds me of every WeHo person above 40. I think I've ever met.
So much work, teeth replaced,
painted nails,
lips,
steel shorts, basically. Like they weren't steel, but more or less.
It's because of how much steroids he's taking. I don't think that.
And clearly his taste in women is fairly masculine.
Yeah. But maybe he is, pansexual in a certain way.
And also he had the dangly earring, and how much I hate a dangly earring.
I know.
Dangly earrings are significantly worse than the faux pearl necklaces to me, and those should affect your credit score.
Yeah, I just wish that after 3 days the pearl, like the fake pearls, just kind of like exploded, so the person became decapitated.
Every time I see one of those dangly earrings, I just want to like rip it off someone's ear.
It's so gross. It's like, I'm trying to think of like, was there ever a trend 10 years ago that's kind of like an instant turn off?
The rat tail hairstyles.
I think that's just been throughout generation passed down.
I don't know.
And then the last couple was Ash and Max.
Maximo and Ashley were my least favorite.
First of all, Max ain't topping anything.
So for context for the Velmas, so after Corey and Wilder, the couple that we talked about that were successful, like they met someone, they decided to exit the show early. Basically,
They brought in
the producers like had like another couple lined up to come in and basically just
replace them so that there's 4 couples instead of 3.
So they brought in this New York City couple, Maximo and Ashley.
They are super queer.
Super queer. And then partner Ashley
identifies as bisexual.
Yep, a bisexual woman. And they are in a, I guess,
open relationship.
Open poly relationship, I think.
And they're just there to stir drama. I mean, they got Becca twice, and they treated her like shit. They talked to other contestants just like.
Well, as soon as they got there, they started targeting people that were already in relationships with the other. Now, that being said, that it goes back to what I think both of us probably didn't like about this show is that it felt like the singles were assigned to these couples, and it's like, oh, they're off. They're not up for grabs. But like in reality, anyone should be because like
I mean that's how relationships work. Right, they're there to make connections. They're there to meet a couple.
Do you think that Maximo and Ashley were there to genuinely date anyone?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They were there for TV. They were there to fuck. That's it. They were there for a free vacation. And that's what they got.
Yeah.
They stirred the pot. No one liked them. I didn't like them as a viewer. Period.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be another season of
I
the
hope
show?
so. So the great thing about this is that this show is TVMA. So you see chichis, you see butts, you see it all.
Yeah, there was a good amount of nudity and spicy time on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I thought Wilder was kind of hot. I'm not going to lie to you.
I did not think he was cute, and he also had a lot of work done.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yep. Got to look at him. He definitely had like some sort of facelift. He was giving off some murderer. I can't think of it, but
did you like Jonathan?
So I was all for Jonathan except for when he briefly went with Max and Ash. He became a slight villain, and then I became less interested in him, but he was treated like shit as well.
So the gay couple that we originally mentioned, Ramon and Ashmal, like their primary connection throughout this show was with a guy named Jonathan, who I believe is bi.
Yeah.
And I like you was rooting for him. He seemed like a really sweet guy. And then towards the end, I started to feel like he was just here for reality television.
Yeah, he needed to get back on. Like, so when you swap out, you join like this other group of singles, and you aren't on TV unless you're with a couple. And so I felt like he needed to get with a couple in order to get TV time. Like, I just think he was there for TV.
There's one last character or cast member, I guess, that I want to talk about. What were your thoughts of the sexologist or relationship expert?
My God, they got her from Craigslist.
So
she was like, today's lesson is honesty. Be honest in front of each other. And it's just like, what?
So there was a news story. I feel like this was out of Florida like a year ago or so, but this woman was doing sign language interpretation for like a police station,
and it was completely
bullshit.
Garbage.
It turned out that she like didn't even know
those
sign
videos
language.
Were so funny.
So this reminded me of this sexologist because her practices seemed so non-professional. One of the first things they had,
the kissing, like the red flag one.
Yeah. So one of the first things that she has the couples and their newly, joined single that they're like, sort of kicking things off with, instead of an introductory session, the first thing she has them do is like has the quote unquote sexy single test the limits of one of the partners by like progressively doing more romantic or sexual things with another partner. Yeah. And so like the gay couple we talked about, Ramon and Ashmal, the one that like clearly has a lot of insecurities, had to watch Jonathan like kiss, massage, etc. his partner. And I had to write down this quote because Ramon blew up at Ashmal, and he was like, they had a safe word, and Ramon says, the question isn't why I didn't use the safe word if I was getting upset. The question is, why didn't you use the safe word when you should have known I was getting upset?
I know. I knew exactly what quote you were going to come up with. That was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Like, it's basically saying, don't ask me why I'm mad.
You should
ask
just know.
yourself, ask yourself why you think I'm mad. Like, it's one of the most immature relationships. They should not have been on the show. There was red flags from
no
the
surprise
very
that
beginning.
they broke up.
No surprise that they broke up.
Yeah, it just seemed interesting that they would like have this expert there, and I was reading about the show, and they intentionally chose couples that were brand new to polyamory, or at least had very little experience to it. So if they knew that coming into it, why would you not like have some experts sort of guide them through this process? I mean, I guess they want to make good TV,
right?
But these are also people's real lives.
So I want to kind of broaden the discussion. Like, what do you think about, like, do you think that you could be in a throuple?
Ooh. Well, I have to think about this. Like a celebrity couple, maybe.
No, I'm talking about real life. Say you and Elle had a discussion and he was like, hey, I want to run this by you, but I'm thinking about, like, what if we went on dates with a single?
I'm such a jealous person.
Yeah.
No, actually not just jealous, but I'm pretty self-centered too.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be really hard for me to consider like another person because will most of their attention be towards me, or will it be towards the other person? What about you?
I'm not a jealous person. That's not what would be a problem. I don't think I could do a throuple. I think it would just be so weird.
In what way?
Everything. Just everything about it. Like, I can't imagine. I also just can't imagine having a threesome.
Have you never had a threesome?
I've never had a threesome. Also, the one really funny thing is there's a ton of recording. Like, they would have three-way makeouts on this TV show. It is one of the funniest things to look at. They're like serious about it, and it's just like they're like sticking their tongues out into the space. And like
multi-person kissing sessions are just not.
It's like it's not funny. Easy. Like, it's silly. It's like three girls in like a slumber party. Like, it's so funny to watch. It's a mess.
Okay, well let's go back a little bit. So you've never had a threesome?
I've never had a threesome. I kind of am not interested at all.
That's fair.
I can't even masturbate to a threesome.
Oh, like threesome porn.
I will skip threesome, gangbangs, everything. Like, I do not want that. Like, I'm not
What's
sexually
your
interested.
aversion to it?
It's weird. Also, like,
you know what it is for you? It's just too many people to please or disappoint. That's what it is for you.
I also, like, what if you did what if I put on a character and my partner's like, you've never done that? Or what if he starts laughing because he's like, this isn't you.
Just suddenly become like Dom aggressive.
Or I just start talking like the humpback of Notre Dame.
Or a baby voice.
Me, my chichi.
My skin's crawling now. Speaking of your people pleasing, and I want to deviate for a second. I was thinking about you yesterday with the latest SNL episode. Did you see it with Ariana?
No.
Okay, well, you have to go watch it because they have an intervention session, or it's like Alcohol's Anonymous, but for people pleasers.
Oh,
so you need to go see that.
Do you know who wrote the skit?
I have no idea. Get back to me once you've seen it.
Yeah, we'll do.
Okay, so you've never had a threesome.
Yeah,
and you have no interest in a threesome.
So I think by nature, a throuple would be problematic for me.
Well, maybe not. I mean, there's different structures of those. But as someone that has had a fair share of threesome plus, I don't know. It's
does it turn you on, like having a threesome?
I think like a lot of things, the idea or concept of something is better than the reality. For example, so I would say my very first threesome was with a couple. Like they'd been in a long-term relationship. They're clearly trying to like spice things up. And I was into one of them more than the other one.
Yeah,
but
that's going to happen.
And so that's a pretty standard thing, I feel like. So the dynamic's always a little weird, because, you know, you're not necessarily trying to like make out with both of them, but they're there. So
yeah, I think threesomes, obviously we're not experts, but I have seen like my fair share of like couples out in the real world, and it seems like one of two things happen. Either the couple gets bored of the third and becomes once again just a couple, or the third ends up having a relationship with one of them stronger, and they kick out one of the founding members.
I have to say that an odd thing about throuples for me is like how you landed at the number of 3 people. Like how is 3 like the right number?
Yeah, like someone's by nature, by laws of numbers, gonna be left out at some point.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't have enough experience with this. I mean, you can also argue like why is 2 the right number, but at least with like a one-on-one dynamic, I feel like you can pretty intimately get to know someone. And I'm just wondering, like, as you add on more people, can you really do that? Or, you know, like, is one of them a lot closer with one other of the triangle and someone else is, you know, more removed? I don't know. I think it also probably depends on how you come into this throuple.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of
broken couples
hunting.
Yeah.
And so that's a little different than like, okay, you like organically somehow met someone and they just like a really good fit for your relationship, then okay. But I don't know. I'm conflicted. You know, with the economy the way it is, I get it. Like splitting things with a third person. I understand, but at the same time, why not like 4 or 5 or 6?
Yeah. When's the number to stop?
Do you think that most throuples are closed or open?
Open. I would say.
I would assume, right?
Yeah, I would assume. I think that there are like people that tend to be in throuples already sort of have an open relationship, which is how they came to have the third. Yeah,
maybe. I would assume they're probably open too. I mean, but I was watching some videos of various YouTube throuples and reading, because I knew we wanted to talk about like non-traditional relationships today. And a few of them surprisingly said that they were closed.
Throuples.
Closed throuples.
Yeah. So on Couple to Throuple, one of the big sticking points with Sean and Brittany was that their third, Darius, had some issues with commitment, and they were like shocked. They were like, she wanted to kiss someone else. She wanted to kiss someone else, and she was being honest the entire time. I was like, hey, this is where I'm feeling. And they would be like, what do you mean? Like they were,
you don't want to be only with us.
Like, and I'm just like, you guys are in a openish, like it's a type of open relationship.
It's hypocritical, right? It is, and that's what I guess I'm getting at, is that it feels silly then to, like, if you were in like a closed throuple, like at that point, like if your belief is that you can potentially love as many people as you want and still have like good relationships with all of those, then like why would you limit yourself in any way? Like seemingly you could have as many partners as, you know, you and those that you are in this relationship structure with are comfortable having.
What are your opinions on couples who have open relationships, not throuples, not?
It's a hard one for me. Like, it's definitely something I have struggled with. Like, if you had asked me like several years ago, I would have instantly shut that down and been like, no, I think that this is like not a healthy structure. I don't think that anything good comes from that, because I like historically had not seen people be in good, positive relationships that were open. It seemed like they were too unwilling to compromise the like whatever comfort or stability they had in
Yeah.
their main relationship, and like didn't want to admit that it was like not functioning. But since then, having moved out of the Bible Belt and to California, I think the majority of the relationships we see here are open, and I'm not going to say that or like opine on whether I think most of those are like healthy or functional, but I have since seen a very healthy, functional, open relationship of someone that we're really close to that I respect a lot. And I think all of that really boils down to like how well you communicate, and that's like any relationship.
Communication. I like honestly seeing open couples has really just emphasized like communication is make or break for any couple in any type of relationship,
monogamous or not.
Yeah. And I feel like even people that are closed can get a lot out of watching open couples because of communication.
Yeah. What are your thoughts in general about open relationships? Similar or?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I think that I was the same sort of growth where I thought that it was not stable, that I did not see that as a realistic long-term thing. I think that's because a lot of the times when I would go out and I would see those open couples, it felt like they were never together. It felt like there were roommates and like they were there.
And I've seen those types too. Like as soon as they get to the bar, or even before they're on Grindr, they're looking for.
And that's also like the G. Like, oh my god,
the G of it.
The G of it all. Like couples that do G and go to the bar, like it seems like you're doing that.
There is a seemingly high overlap of substance abuse and open relationships, but. That aside, I think there's a part of me that feels that it is a little bit silly that, we don't, as queer people, don't necessarily have to box ourselves into the same relationship models that, our straight counterparts have long had. But if I just think about this longer term, life is short. You live once. Like if you and your partner can communicate and do this in like what a quote unquote like ethical way, then like why not?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to communicate, talk about what's comfortable. I also think something that's really, really important is to have like a veto card.
What does that mean?
When one of the couple is like, "Hey, I'm not comfortable with whatever you're doing," like veto it.
Yeah.
Okay, then like the sex with the other person should never be that important.
If you mean not if you're in like a throuple or
this is purely like a couple with an open relationship.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different like structures of that. I mean, different sort of polyamory models where people like want to be friends with all their people's partners or like not participate, like don't ask, don't tell kind of policy. Right. So yeah, I agree. I mean, it's all about boundaries, right? And like communicating that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a person's personal choice. Like there's no one way to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be different couple to couple, throuple to throuple.
Okay. Well, pretending, because I just want to know, pretending that you were in a throuple, celebrity throuple, who would your picks be?
You know what? I think it might be very interesting to be in a heterosexual couple.
I don't think you could do it.
I'm trying to think of someone that's really, really, really hot. God, who do I think is hot?
I have no idea. I mean, honestly, I thought you and your ideal version of a throuple relationship was just going to be you in a bifold mirror. You really can't think of who your celebrity...
Well, here's the thing. So as soon as a person says they're straight, I kind of get turned off.
Okay, so how you think you're going to be in a throuple relationship?
Which is why I think it's like... But if the person was into me, I think that would change. I think I would definitely go down on a woman if I knew I knew because of that I would be getting something else out of it. Does that make sense?
I guess. If it does to you.
Yeah, I could definitely. Yeah, it's just a body part. I mean, it's like licking someone's pinky, right? Like a clit?
I don't know. I'm all the way
Can you
gay.
Google clit? Like, what does it look like?
No. No, sorry. It's not
Wait.
for me.
So I want to ask you the same question. Who would your celebrity couple be? My God, I cannot think. I cannot.
Who do you do you have guesses about who mine would be?
It would be. I'm just thinking of like hairless twinks that are
Twinks?
20.
I don't even like twinks.
Okay, not twinks, but like very young, injected with steroids and not one hair on the body.
I mean, I definitely like really big, dumb, muscly motherfuckers. Like their pronouns could be like fee fi fo fum, you know, like just give me a dumb roided guy. But let's see. So one of them would be like either 2018, 2019 era Chris Evans or Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, I was going to say Chris Hemsworth. I was thinking that.
I don't think I could do both because it would get confusing with both of them being Chris.
Oh my God.
So I think
they're straight. Ew.
That's my favorite flavor.
Oh, there's nothing. Ugh.
So I think I would do like Chris Hemsworth, and then maybe Glenn Powell.
Oh my God, man, he is so pretty. But I think he's hot in the same way that I think a Mona Lisa is hot. Like it's really pretty to look at, but I'm never gonna get the painting this fuck it.
I might even be willing to like expand to a foursome to have like Maluma.
Maluma, again, beautiful, beautiful creature. I can admire it from afar, but I just have no
But see,
interest.
like, I don't really need the men for anything else, though, right? Like, they just need to be hot and good in certain things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm good on my own. You know, like,
yeah,
that's what you're here for.
yeah.
To be
I just
honest.
need someone to listen to me perform my songs and tell me that was good.
No, I understand it. You, like I said, you could not do a multi-person relationship. I think it's hard enough for you already to constantly worry about disappointing one, much less multiple partners.
Yeah,
so.
and I always disappoint myself.
Me as well. You know what? Like, I think there are a lot of logistical and operational issues to having multiple partners that would like really, they would be very difficult for me. Like the housing setup alone, like.
So like, how would the like douching work? What if you only have one bathroom? Only one is a bottom that day?
Oh, I mean, you have to, if you have three people, you have to have three bathrooms. So that's what I'm saying, like house size alone, because there's periods where I want to see no one for hours, you know? And
yeah.
so like
where would you go?
The house needs to be big enough that the three of us could be in it and not see each other the whole time. To your point, you got to have three bathrooms because I don't like to share a bathroom.
Right.
That would be a major issue for me. And then the sleeping arrangements. Like,
uncomfortable.
Do you all share one bed?
I don't like it when I'm touched after 20 minutes. Like, I need, like, I can cuddle for 20 minutes, but then nothing because then I get sticky.
You run kind of hot too, don't you?
I am hot, baby.
But just like a wild animal, you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although,
are you excited for next week?
Next week?
Yes, because we're sharing a king size bed.
Oh, we are.
The amount of hair you're gonna wake up, like you're gonna wake up and you're just like in your mouth. How did this get in here?
But yes, I think there's a lot of logistical issues, and then also imagine being dumped by two people at the same time.
I know.
What would you do?
I would feel so pathetic.
Would you have to change the name and like go under witness protection? Leave the country?
What do you like? Also, how would you tell? Like, if you told your family, not only are you gay, but you have two people that are fucking in your butt, like what would they say?
That's an interesting question too. Do you think that like
answer it?
What was your
how would your family and friends react to you having being in a throuple?
I can't imagine be any worse than
I don't even know the Spanish word for it. I have no idea.
Your mom would know that you're such a slut.
She'd be like, huh? 2
like
others?
How do you say cum pig in Spanish?
Yeah.
That's what you would have to learn.
Oh my God. Leche.
What was I gonna say? You distracted me. I was gonna say Is that another layer you think of finding potentially a third or additional partner that like you have to surely know what their sexual positions are, right?
Yeah, I
Do
like
they need to be verse?
someone has to be a bottom and someone needs to be a top.
Well, they could be a side. Looking at you, I'm taking that's a no. Alex is dead set on someone being bottom.
No,
Could be useless.
no, yeah. I mean, I'm just like give and take in the relationship.
Literally.
Give and take.
I did mention that I did some research for this episode, and every single YouTube couple that I looked at, and I looked at 4 or 5 of them,
Broke up.
every single one of them.
Really?
So I don't
That's
know.
not surprising at all.
So I don't know what that says about this from a long-term viability standpoint.
But also, gay couples don't last.
So that's a good point. I think there's like too much emphasis on like whether a relationship is going to last or not. Like,
Yeah.
can't you also just see how the roller coaster ride goes?
Right. Actually, let's bring this full circle. Just a regular couple, traditional,
Oh yeah.
awful.
Well,
I
straight
can't
people
say
are
this.
awful in general.
I've seen
but-
a lot of couples that just try to get through it and be like, I love this person, therefore I have to be with this person for the rest of their life, regardless of how mad I am at that person constantly because I hate them.
Mhm.
I've seen couples that are so mean to each other. They're together for years. They get married and then they eventually break up and fizzle and then they do it all over again.
Mhm.
Like, if you don't have to be with that person.
Yeah, I
You don't
agree.
have to get married with anyone.
Well, this goes back to what we talked about in a previous episode, was that there's like that more or less a plan for people to follow, right? Like this roadmap of what your life should look like.
Yeah.
And that's getting back on this emphasis that you need to like find your soulmate, have kids, all this shit.
Yeah.
When like, I mean, I just don't think of life as like such a linear, straightforward sort of
Right.
thing. It's like maybe you're going to have multiple loves in your life, and
Yeah.
maybe each of those things are good when they're good, and then when they're not, like you move on to the next thing and you're learning things from all of it. But I'm with you that there's no reason to like make something work. And same here, like just because a bunch of people that tried different relationship models and it didn't work out doesn't mean it's not a valid
Yeah.
model. You know, like as long as you're communicating your needs and being open and honest about what it is that you think will bring you fulfillment, then
Right.
you should try that.
Yeah. We are social beings and humans all need long-term relationships. They don't have to be long-term sexual relationships.
I agree with that. Well, it was a good conversation with you today about this.
I loved speaking with you on this as well.
All right. Well, that's our notes on non-traditional relationships, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Hey, it's Colby and Alex here. Thank you for listening to No Notes.
If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and share with your friends.
You can also follow us on Instagram at No Notes Pod, one word, where you'll find updates on new episodes and see more into our lives and the stories that we share with you on this show.
Your support means the world to us. Until next time, keep it real and keep it queer.